evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Rich Live Show. I'm Rich and we're live. We're live. I'm back in the studio. So it's good to be back in the studio. Had a wonderful weekend, wonderful celebration, and looking forward to many, many more. Shout out to everyone that has it locked. I want to say good evening, Ronnie, and everybody else that's affected by this hurricane that hit Mississippi. I know T. Holloway's doing well. Also, Ronnie down there in Florida, and anybody else that may be experiencing the storm. Shout out to you, and hopefully you guys stay safe. So we drop out, it might be a storm out there that may be affecting it. It's all good. So, how you doing? Music from the DMV. That Cat Dave, great show. Hey, if you're missing those workout courses, man, we're ramping things up in the DC area with That Cat Dave, who's doing a wonderful job with getting us in shape, keeping us in shape with his Get Fit with Dave course. How you doing, Desiree, and everybody else that's on here? Mom, shout out to you and the sunny South Florida crew. Go ahead and share the link. Rich Live, love a crowd. I love a crowd. All right, so let me give you an opportunity to share that link, and I'll be back in about 30 seconds. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for your patience. Hey, welcome to the Rich Live Show. I'm Rich, and we are live in the Atlanta studio. Shout out to everybody in the entire crew, MSC crew that's listening, and everybody else that's out there in radio land. Hey, share that link. I love a crowd. Y'all come on in. Get on in here. Get on in here. Hey, so today I thought was a good conversation. We just had a wonderful weekend, extended weekend, and I thought a good conversation that we could have today is about investing, self-investing, and basically in a nutshell, betting on yourself, right? Betting on yourself. Put a 1 in the chat room if you can hear me fine. How you doing, Jazz? Shout out to Jazz and everyone else that's listening, and the folks over there in Texas. That's right. Everything's bigger over there, so they say. So, hey, listen, this conversation is going to be quick, but I want y'all to stick with me. You might want to grab something to write some notes down. Sometimes I say stuff that shock me. But these conversations come from real life scenarios, situations, conversations that have been had. But full disclosure, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, a mental health specialist. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or any of a sort. I'm just a guy who's had to walk through life and learned a whole lot of things along the way, and I love sharing my information with you. Hopefully you're taking these notes because there's some good information that I like sharing with all of you guys. With that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. So the conversation came up in my head to discuss the topic today about betting, like gambling, betting, why we don't bet on ourselves, right? You know, when I look around, I look at all the beautiful women, which most are here listening. I see a whole lot of name brand and beauty. And, you know, beauty, the beauty industry is the most thriving industry in America, the beauty industry. And then right next to that is probably going to be fashion, right? Especially in our community. So I'm saying that to say this, that we invest a lot of time, money, and energy into looking good. We invest a whole lot of time, money, and energy into fashion. And this is not to say anything negative about fashion, but I'm just talking about betting and investing, right? So if the number one industry is going to be fashion and beauty, how cool would it be if you took some of that investment and put into you? You know, we support so many other organizations. We watch movies, we listen to music, we purchase things of value, ladies, purses, men, our toys and stuff like that. We invest a whole lot into things and other people, other situations, other circumstances. But one thing that I know for sure is that we do not invest a whole lot into ourselves and self-development. We just don't, especially, and I'm going to speak, when I say our community, I want to speak on the African-American community. We're the best dressed, and we probably have big homes, nice cars, and good jobs. We just do well. Some of us, a lot of us do. But I'm saying, with that being said, a lot of us don't see the value in investing in ourselves. We don't bet on us, but we have the latest trending clothes, the latest trending accessories, and the latest trending looks. We have all those things, right? But when it comes time to invest in ourselves, it's where we spend the least. We can blow $100 on whatever it is that we want, anywhere from food to just, now people are spending like $50 for a t-shirt. So we spend a whole lot of money and we invest in a whole lot of things. But then when it comes time to take care of ourselves and invest in ourselves, not necessarily monetarily, but just mentally, emotionally, self-help, self-gratifying circumstances and situations, we don't embark on them because we save very little for ourselves. Yeah, if you're a parent and you have kids, if you're married and you have a spouse, or if you have a job that's very demanding, or you're in a situation that's very demanding, you're connected to your church, the military, you're teaching, you're a cop, correction officer, whatever it is that you do, freelancer. A lot of times in those industries, we invest in those people or things or situations. And then we come home and then we're tired because we've invested so much time, energy, resources into things that don't necessarily serve us the way that we would like to be served. So I'm going to challenge us today to start investing into ourselves, right? Why not bet on you? Why not you? You know, I was having a conversation today with someone, and we were speaking about how I've had so many, within my law enforcement career, I have so many opportunities to do some wonderful things. Driving people around to make sure they were safe in a very luxurious SUV, blacked out with all the bells and whistles. You know, people wonder why I wasn't excited about that, because I always saw myself as being driven. Why not me? Why not you? Sometimes we're emphatically excited about things we see on television, but we never see ourselves on the other side of the camera. We're excited about some of the celebrities and the stars and everything that motivates us, but we never really imagine ourselves in their shoes. But we're investing into what they're supplying. So I want to kind of reset the way that we think and start seeing ourselves in those situations. Why not you? Why aren't you betting on you? You know, I know several people that drive very expensive cars, live in expensive homes, and they won't market themselves. They don't invest in themselves. So before tonight is over, I'm going to ask you, are you investing into something that's important to you, something that serves you? And I'm going to ask you to be honest with me, and we're going to do some back and forth. And I just want to kind of dive into it to figure out where we are and how we can get to where we need to go, right? So our survival rate, as it stands right now, is 100%. So whatever it is that you've been through, wherever it is that you've been in your life, regardless of how bad it may have been, your survival rate is 100%. You are here fully in the flesh listening to my voice, and your survival rate is 100%. So that is a great starting point. You have your faculties. You have the ability to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And the truth of the matter is, if you put things in the universe, in my opinion, if you put things in the universe, that's you speaking things into existence. And we hear that a lot, and we think it's a cliche, but it's actually true. Most of where I'm at right now today is because of something that I said that was going to happen. So be careful what we're saying about things, and be careful what we're allowing to come out of our mouth, because ultimately, you know, in a godly sense, if you're like him in his image, you are God, then that means that you're representing him within yourself. So if you're professing that you are not feeling well, then you're not. If you say that you're not doing well, then you're not. So let's be very mindful of the things that we say out of our mouth, because those things can actually become tangible. I spoke about this station. I spoke about this platform. I said where it was going to be in the next few years, and I was right. But I didn't know I was right. I had faith and belief that it was right. So with that being said, I put some work in, and I invested into me. Are you investing into you? Are you betting? Are you betting on yourself? Are you challenging you and comparing you against you? So before we leave here, I want you to start thinking about the only competitor that should be in your life is you. And typically the only person that stops you from doing what you would like to do or pursuing what you like to pursue is you. A lot of times our pride prevents us from pursuing the things we desire because we don't want to be embarrassed, or we don't want to be that person. So we just kind of fit in. And so I want to encourage you today, stop trying to fit in. And the only person you should be challenging to do better against is you. You show up for you 100% of the times. But then if you show up for you 100% of the times, why are you betting on someone else? I'm going to say that again. The one person that has never not been there for you is you. You show up every time. So if you're always showing up for yourself, why are you betting on others? Some of us build businesses, organizations, we build things, desires, based off of someone else's success, hoping that their vision that has turned into something success will accompany my vision. But I'm here to tell you, you don't necessarily need to springboard your desires off of someone else's success. I'm saying bet on you. Bet on you. If you're going to gamble in this life on anything, I encourage it to be you. I'm gonna let you take that in. Breathe that in for a second. If you're going to take any chances on life, in life, take them on yourself. Bet on yourself. You know, I've heard so many people say, like, for example, when I would put on a course and a class or something that I'm giving away amazing nuggets, like I'm really taking you to the root of what can help you in your life. Follow this step, download this software, go in this order, go to this place, speak to this person. I'm giving you all this information. And there were people that would not spend $29, $39, $59 on themselves. Self-development. Someone's giving you information, but you won't spend a dime on self-development. You won't spend a dime on enhancing your life and pursuing your dreams, goals, and visions to get the templates, to get the information, to get the data to move on, but yet and still will probably in the same breath go out to a restaurant and spend 70, 80 bucks on something that's going to pass through your system. Take a chance on yourself. Bet on you. You're not the person today that you were yesterday. Your past and everything that happened, embarrassing or not, horrible or not, if you've been a victim, if you've been abused, you've been in an abusive relationship, something happened in your past, it does not define your destiny. It shouldn't be hindering your future. It shouldn't prevent you from being all that you can be. A lot of times we don't purge our past and it delays our present. Well, what I'm trying to say today is that we can put those things away. It doesn't mean that they did not occur. It just means that we've overcome, we've conquered, we've built on, and we're going to solidify our future by betting on us. Bet on you. The first thing you should do every morning is be grateful and be thankful that you're here. And then figure out how your day is going to be successful. And then you can incorporate everyone else into it. But if you go to bed thinking about what you need to do for someone else and you're not thinking about yourself, it's not self-care. If you're not careful, you'll start to invest so much into others, including your children, including your spouse, that you would actually forget about yourself. I'm saying bet on you because you're the only one that has shown up for you 100% of the times. And that person, which is you, have never let you down. You may have been disappointed by some of the decisions that you made, but you should be at a point right now where you love yourself so much and you're so happy with who you are and you've embraced every characteristic, every personality, every imperfection, and understanding that you're perfectly imperfect. Now, bet on you. Bet on you. Imagine you in the seat of the person that you admire. Imagine you on the other side of the screen of your television. Imagine you on the other side of the desk of the CEO. Imagine you signing the front of the checks, not the back. See, that has always been my vision. I've been in positions where I had the privilege and the honor to be around people who required security because I was security. I've been around people that required to be driven because they were so busy and they were so successful they had to be driven. So I was the driver. I've been on television shows behind the scenes where I had to hold the camera. I've been at events where I had to be the engineer running the soundboard. But I've always imagined myself in their shoes. So I started betting on me. Now I'm the guy that's featured on the screen. I'm the guy on the stage. I'm the guy that's being driven. You can be that person. Bet on yourself. I don't care how small it is. I'm the guy that signs the front of the check. It feels good. That doesn't mean that I've made it to where I want to go. It doesn't mean that I've reached my destiny. It just means that because I'm betting on myself, I'm winning. Once you bet on yourself, then the belief system gets stronger. It gets better. All you need is a couple of affirmations. Write these things down. I say this over and over. Write down bullets. I'm not saying write paragraphs. I'm not saying to write long, extensive things. Stop overthinking things. Some of us are stuck in the laboratories of our lives. And while we're in the laboratory of our lives, meaning that we're studying, we're trying to learn, we're researching, we're wondering, we're guessing, we're overanalyzing things. Meanwhile, somebody's out there holding your dream. Somebody's moving in the direction where you should be moving. So my suggestion moving forward is to affirm that you're going to start betting on you. One thing about you can't leave you. You take you everywhere you go. So the support that you give you and the love that you give you, no one else can compare. But not only that, the only competitor in this world is you against you. So I'm going to challenge you to wake up tomorrow and challenge you and compete against you. Then, whenever you hit a roadblock, ask yourself, if you were counseling yourself and you're dealing with a situation, what advice would you give you? So instead of a friend girl or homeboy asking you something, ask yourself, what would I advise myself to do differently? What advice would I give myself? What would I do? What steps would I take? And a lot of times we have solutions that we don't invoke because we don't necessarily think enough about ourselves. So we look outwardly for someone to tell us what we already know. You ever seek advice from someone or counsel or help or support from someone and they tell you something and you interrupt them by saying, I knew that. I knew I should have. I said that to myself. Well, speak to yourself more. Ask yourself, what would you tell yourself? If you're having a crisis, what would the sane version of yourself tell the person in the crisis? Let me say that again. If you're having a crisis, I'm not saying by any means don't get help, don't speak to a therapist. I'm saying in a particular moment, what would the sane person, the person with all the faculties, what would they say to the person in the crisis? What advice would they give? If you can. And actually, it can work right now. If you ask yourself, what is it that I should have been doing with my life? Am I where I'm supposed to be? Or what is it that's required for me to get to where I want to go? Where am I not betting on myself? Where am I not being intentional with myself? Bet on you. I'm telling you, the odds are going to be in your favor. The odds are going to be in your favor. I would challenge each and every individual to take 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day. And find yourself a sacred place, whether it's in the restroom, in the garage, outside in the yard, somewhere where nobody else is. Spend 10 minutes with yourself, asking yourself, am I doing enough? Am I letting myself down by not doing the things that I promised myself? See, the one thing about self is self could never run away from self. There's always multiple conversations going on with self. There's the one that's telling you what to do that you should be doing. And then there's the other conversation of you talking yourself out of it. Sometimes you have to tell that voice that's trying to protect you by saying, girl, you don't have to do that. You tired? Get some rest. Letting yourself off the hook. Stop letting yourself off the hook. Sometimes you have to suppress that voice of comfort, because that voice of comfort tells you it's okay to quit. It's okay to give up. Oh, it's too expensive. That's too much time. Girl, that happens a lot. Sometimes you have to suppress that voice, because that voice is the endorphins of your brain telling you to stay safe. I'm telling you to bet on yourself. The fact that it came into your mind and your heart and your brain means that it's tangible. It's tangible. It's possible. A lot of us look outside into entities and organizations to be solidifiable. Do that. Do that thing. Some folks are applying for jobs to do what they love. Why don't you get an LLC and do what you love? Why do you have to do it for someone else? A lot of us want to go up the corporate ladder. And the belief system is that you have to go through scale 1 through 10. You can hop from 3 to 7, or you can jump from 5 to 10. The former president, Barack Obama, did. He went from being an organizer to a president of the United States. Ask yourself, whenever you feel that you're being doubted or you're doubting yourself, why not you? Why not you? Why not you? Who would you suggest? Why not you? Bad things are going to happen. You don't get to pick and choose the bad things that happen. But good things that happen, why not you? Bet on yourself. Start investing in yourself. If you can afford nice things for yourself, and you dress nice and you look nice and you're driving nice vehicles and you live in nice homes, invest in yourself. Spend some time with you. Spend some money on you. Get some self-care, some self-help, but most importantly, start being a little bit more aggressive on pursuing what your heart desires. It could be something as simple as walking a little bit further, doing a little bit more exercising, fixing yourself up a little bit better, taking a little bit more risk on you, betting a little bit more on you, going outside your normal network of people and folks, understanding that growth sometimes is uncomfortable, but on the other side of growth is more opportunities, more exposure to greater things, better relationships, better opportunities, a clearer view at what life could be when there's contrast. Bet on you. If you can afford to buy yourself something new, take an opportunity and see what you can do differently with that at least once. Take a course, support an organization, do something that's different than the norm. Take more risk calculatedly on yourself. Take more risk with yourself. Bet on you. I promise you, you won't let you down. There's always going to be two conversations. The one that tells you how difficult it is, all the odds of you not succeeding. And then the other conversation is going to be really clear, telling you to go. And typically that's the one that we suppress. Let's stop suppressing the voice that says go and start following that voice that says you can do it. Leap, jump, go. This is why affirmations are so important, because they help you build the courage to go. So as you affirming that you are important, that you are somebody, that why not you, then it could be you and it will be you. You have to operate in that spirit if you want it to happen. But if you operate in the spirit of quitting, guess what will happen? I promise you. If you see yourself out of a relationship, it's over. If you see yourself not working somewhere or quitting, eventually those things happen. But if you can see yourself being a leader, being an executive, chasing your dream, finding your dream, not just chasing it, reaching it, finding that spot, that sweet spot. What's your purpose? If you start seeing those things, seeing you traveling, seeing you having an extra zero in your bank account, you start envisioning these things, the endorphins in your brains will begin to attract these things to you, and these type of people you will attract. So with this whole platform, I had a vision, and I attracted people with the same type of vision. I didn't know who they were, but I was able to attract them by betting on me. Bet on yourself. You have resources, you have time, you have opportunities. Bet on you, because you can win if you bet on you. You can win, whatever it is, wherever you want to go. They say 90% is what happens, but the other percentage is how you respond. How you respond it renders the most results. How you respond. Adversity introduces people to themselves. Conflict introduces people to themselves. Stress introduces people to themselves. Anytime you go through any acute situation, how you respond really identifies who you are. And what you do when people are not around really determines or tells who you are all the time. So basically, when I'm not on screen and I'm not speaking and I'm not talking about nuggets and things of that nature, person that shows up is a real true indicator of what happens when I'm not on the screen. Make sure you start to put you first, because if you're not good, then you cannot be good for anyone else. Make sure you're whole. Be intentional. Take 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day. Find you a nook in the cranny. Have some self-care. Talk to yourself. Listen. When you block out all the noise, you're going to hear a voice. I'm not saying you're crazy, but when you block out all the noise, you're going to hear yourself tell yourself exactly what you should be doing. The question is, in that moment, will you have the courage to do what yourself told you to do? Is it starting the business? Is it starting the foundation? Is it investing in you? Is it getting in shape? Is it moving more? Is it being more disciplined? The key thing about discipline is if you have it, a lot of this conversation is irrelevant. Discipline can really be the key to what it is you want to do. Without it, struggles will ensue. So bet on you. Bet on you. Add a little bit of sauce of discipline. Get yourself a regiment. Put down the bad luggage. What happened to you in your past and whatever you may have been through does not define your destiny. The only person that could stop you from reaching your destiny and your goals and your dreams is going to be you. The only person that you should be competing against is you. We're all unique in talents and characters and DNA, shapes and forms. Even the identical twin doesn't have the identical DNA. So why would you compete against someone that looks nothing like you, that behaves nothing like you? Why are you competing against them? Compete against the version of you that you have not met. A lot of us haven't met that extraordinary person that's in us because we haven't allowed it to come out. We're too busy chasing someone else or trying to be like someone else when you haven't really met the version of yourself that hasn't been awakened. COVID introduced me to me. COVID was adverse. It was an adversity situation in business and everything that I was doing, but that adverse situation introduced the radio station to the world. So what I started doing is I started competing against myself. I can speak better. I can look better. I can get better lighting. I can sound better. I can fix the quality. I just started competing against me when people were saying, hey, look at, you should be like this person. You should be like that person. No, I can be the best version of myself. And the cool thing about me becoming the best version of me, I don't have to involve anyone else because I know who I am and I know who I need to become. And I don't need an outside influence. It helps to motivate yourself. It helps to find motivation, inspiration. It helps to have a therapist. It helps to speak to someone, have a mentor. All those things help. But the most important thing you must remember is that you need to bet more on you. Period. Invest in yourself. If the purse costs this much, take an opportunity and say, where can I apply this that will make me a better individual? Start investing in you because you will never, ever leave you. Even when you leave here, you go wherever you go. I don't care if it's a spouse, a sibling, a child. You're the only person that can go every single place that you go. And you've never left you. But you have bet on others. Start betting on yourself. It all starts here in your mind. Believe it, pursue it, become it. Quiet that voice that's telling you it's not okay or there's some challenges. You can do it. You know you can. Stop suppressing the version of yourself that's old. Turn this version up. turn this version up. Start betting on yourself. Watch how your life turns around. Watch how your life turns around. I give you 30 days of betting on yourself. Before you do anything, say, how does this that I'm about to do, does it make me a better person? Who does it help? Am I being intentional? Did I take 10 minutes for myself? Am I in a position to advocate for someone, or do I need to advocate for myself? Put a little bit self-sauce on it, and you could still have enough to love someone else, to be considerate, to be kind. You still have that in you. So use it to the best of your ability. Bet on you. Put a 1 in the chat room if you've gotten some from this conversation. It's all about you finding the best version of yourself and competing against you and suppressing that voice that tells you not to. Jump. Go for it. Do it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Guess what? If it doesn't work out, the only person you let down was you. Sometimes you got to forget about the rest of the world and take care of you. So I'm going to go to the chat room. Mr. Zoa, good to see you. Shout out to my sponsor, Sharon Everhart. And everybody else. Good evening, Debbie, and everyone else that's in the chat room. So go ahead and share the link. We have a wonderful conversation coming up with, of course, the one and only Dr. Marcia. So y'all want to stick around for that. Up Sis Up show. What an amazing show. Up Sis Up show. Let me tell you don't want to miss it. So how you doing, Ms. Jenkins? Zaza. Everybody. So the conversation today is about you betting on you. And I see folks showing up for Miss Dr. Marcia's show. It's a great conversation, and she brings a whole lot of energy, and she has a whole lot of talent, and every guest that she brings is impactful. So I try to set you guys up, so leading to the next show, that you guys will be in table order, and it's going to be a great one. It always has been and always will be. So I'm going to leave you on that note to say, hey, listen, you've invested in everyone else. Invest in yourself. And if you're going to gamble, from this point moving forward, you better bet on you. I'm going to say that again. You spent your life investing on other people, into other people, other situations, other circumstances. Investing into the job, working for someone else. You've been doing so much your whole entire life. I'm just going to encourage you at this moment to bet on you. Whatever you win, you probably will. You probably will. So, I'm going to leave you with that note. If you're not investing in yourself, I'm encouraging you to. If you can afford a purse, those new sneakers, whatever the case is, spend a little bit of money on self-development, self-help. Get yourself a coach, take a course, bet on you. You will never leave you, ever. Bet on you. Until the next time, it's been a Rich Live production. I will see you back in about 8 minutes on the Up Sis Up show with Dr. Marcia. Stand by. Until then, know that Rich Live loves you. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. See ya!